right? Let's dive into the next now, right? Next one is the operator now, right? Operator now. Somebody is waiting. Shiny Shahidi. Okay. So operator now arises from the ventral branches of the second to fourth lumbar ventral rami, L2 to L4 ventral rami. Okay. Whereas the femoral nerve is L2 to L4 dorsal rami. Okay. That is the difference you have to remember. That the branch from the third is the largest, while that from the second one is often very small. The nerve descends in psoas major, emerging from its medial border at the pelvic brim to pass behind the common iliac vessels and lateral to the internal iliac vessels. Right? So observe that the nerve descends in psoas major, emerging from its medial border. Okay, at the pelvic brim. Okay, lateral femoral artery. You remember the yesterday's class is at the lateral border of psoas major. Okay, femoral artery is at lateral border, whereas this one is at the medial border at the pelvic brim to pass behind the common iliac vessels and lateral to the internal iliac vessels. We say this is the L2 to L4 ventral rami. This one is obturator now, right? We have already learned it, right? Lumbar plexus. Everybody done your homework and sent to me, right? So this one is the operator now. Observe this course. Okay. So if the psoas major is like this is the medial border of psoas major, whereas the femoral artery is in the lateral border of psoas major. Right? See, this one is the operator now, right? Here is the L4, right? Coming like this and having branches there. That one is the operator now. It then descends forwards along the lateral wall of the lesser pelvis on obturator internus. Very, very important. Obturator internus. Antero superior to the obturator vessels to the obturator foramen, entering the thigh by its upper part. So this nerve enters the pelvis through obturator foramen. Okay, that is the most important point. So the related structures are obturator internus and obturator vessels. Near the foramen, it divides into anterior and posterior, right? Anterior and posterior branches separated at first by part of obturator externus and lower down by adductor brevis. Okay, if you remember this, adductor brevis, right? So the anterior is anterior to the adductor brevis branch, posterior is posterior to the adductor brevis branch. So in the middle lies adductor brevis muscle. Coming to the anterior branch leaves the pelvis anterior to the obturator externus, right? Descending in front of adductor brevis, okay? Behind pectineus and adductor longus. That means the adductor brevis lies between adductor magnus and adductor longus, right? Pectineus. So in the middle is adductor brevis. So now has So this one is anterior branch and this one is posterior branch of obturator nerve. So descending in front of adductor brevis, right? Behind pectineus and adductor longus, right? And adductor longus. Okay, let's. Okay, so that one is the obturator nerve, right? See from the lumbar plexus, okay, entering the lower limb through obturator foramen, right? You see that is the obturator foramen, okay. So internally you have obturator internus and externally you have obturator externus covering the obturator membrane, right? So these are the anterior and posterior branches in which the middle muscle is adductor brevis. We will see this, okay. You see the selected structure is pectineus. Let's remove it, okay. That one is adductor longus, okay. Selected muscle is adductor longus. Let's remove that, okay. So that is adductor brevis, okay. So anterior branch of obturator nerve is in front of adductor brevis, okay. It should be, and the selected, that one is adductor magnus, right? So you see, so the anterior, let's remove gracilis. You see, is it clear? Okay, it is well represented in this this atlas. You see, this is the adductor brevis. This one is the anterior branch, whereas that is adductor magnus, right? There, the posterior branch, right? That's, you see, so this one is adductor brevis, right? So this one is posterior branch of obturator nerve, whereas this one is anterior branch. Now you see anterior and posterior branches, right? And this one is being the obturator externus, right? That is the obturator externus muscle, whereas this one is obturator internus, okay. Let's remove this. So that muscle is obturator internus, okay, whereas this one is obturator externus, okay. Let's do this. So this one is psoas major, right? From the medial border of psoas major, okay, it is crossing the pelvic brim, right? So that one is the medial border, right, of the psoas major, right? This one is psoas major and this one is being iliacus, okay. See, that's piriformis, okay. That one is psoas major. So medial border of the psoas major, and you see that one is obturator internus, right? So having obturator internus, so that is obturator foramen, right? That one is obturator foramen, So through that obturator foramen, it has obturator internus, and again it is related to obturator externus, and again it is on the adductor brevis, right? Adductor brevis, and again it is, so this one is longus and this one is pectineus. So it is between pectineus adductor longus and abductor brevis, that is the anterior branch. Okay, let's remove them, adductor longus and pectineus. So that is the anterior branch, and this one is adductor brevis. If you remove that, there is adductor magnus, right? So that is the related anatomy. At the lower border of the adductor longus, it communicates with the medial cutaneous and saphenous branches of the femoral nerve. Okay, remember that. Femoral nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of the femur and saphenous branch of the femoral nerve to form a subsartorial plexus, where at the lower border of the adductor longus, that supplies the skin on the medial side of the thigh. Okay, so there is formation of subsartorial plexus by the anterior branch of the obturator nerve with that of the communication between the medial cutaneous nerve of the femoral nerve and saphenous branch of the femoral nerve at the lower border of the adductor longus, right? So you see, I think you remember this diagram, because by this diagram, this is from the Grant's dissector, right? So this one is adductor brevis, right? Adductor brevis, and longus, this longus tendon, and this one being the pectineus. So longus and pectineus are above the adductor brevis, on which anterior, okay, anterior branch, whereas green one, okay, that one is posterior branch, that is behind the adductor brevis, right? So adductor brevis, this anterior and posterior branches of the obturator now helps us to identify the adductor brevis muscle. Okay, we have learned that during dissection, right? So this one is the diagram. It descends and supplies the femoral artery. Near the obturator foramen, the anterior branch supplies the hip joint, right? Remember that. Behind pectineus, it supplies adductor longus, gracilis, and usually adductor brevis, and often pectineus. So all the muscles in front of it, adductor longus, pectineus, gracilis, and brevis, and connects with accessory obturator nerve. It is not present every time. Occasionally, the communicating branch to the femoral, medial cutaneous, and saphenous branches continues as cutaneous branch to the thigh and leg, right? Subsartorial plexus. When this occurs, the nerve emerges from behind the distal border of the adductor longus to descend along the posterior margin of the sartorius to the knee, where it pierces the deep fascia and connects with the saphenous nerve to supply the skin halfway down the medial side of the leg. So the obturator nerve goes as long as the knee, right? So this one being the obturator nerve, right? So that is, so if you observe, as this one is adductor brevis, so this must be the anterior branches of obturator nerve, right? So you see, this is the anterior branch, and you observe the posterior branch, right? This one is obturator brevis, sorry, adductor brevis. So it's giving its branches to adductor brevis, longus, right, pectineus, right, and gracilis, right. So this 17 number is the operator now, right. So this 28 is anterior branches, 27 is posterior branches of operator now, right. Observe that. Coming to the subsartorial plexus, the medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh, right, medial cutaneous, forms a subsartorial plexus with branches of the saphenous nerve and obturator nerves deep to the fascia lata at the lower border of the adductor longus. When the communicating branch of the obturator nerve is large and reaches the leg, the posterior branch of the medial cutaneous nerve is small and ends in the plexus, from which it gives rise to a few cutaneous filaments. Posterior branch pieces obturator externus, right, anteriorly supplies it, that means supplying the obturator externus, and passes behind adductor brevis, right, behind the adductor brevis to the front of adductor long magnus, dividing into branches to this, that means adductor magnus and adductor brevis, when the latter is not supplied by anterior. If the anterior division doesn't supply adductor brevis, it will be supplied by posterior branch of obturator. So passing behind the adductor brevis, it supplies the adductor magnus, obturator externus, and adductor brevis. It usually sends an articular filament to the knee joint, which either perforate adductor magnus distally or traverses its opening with the femoral artery to enter the popliteal fossa. Okay, to supply the knee joint. Within the fossa, the nerve descends on the popliteal artery to the back of the knee, pierces its oblique posterior ligament, and supplies articular capsule. So, posterior branch of obturator nerve supplies articular capsule of the knee joint, and it gives filament to the popliteal artery. Right? Again, this is brevis. So, this one is posterior branch. Blue one. Okay. That is, blue one is posterior branch of obturator nerve. You see, that is the posterior branch. So this is the obturator nerve, L2 to L4. Okay, seen from front. Again, obturator nerve, the whole medial compartment of the thigh. Coming to the lesions, isolated lesions of the obturator nerve are extremely rare, right? Isolated lesions, but may occasionally occur as a result of direct trauma, sometimes during parturition, that means during delivery, or in anterior dislocation of the hip, right? The nerve may also be damaged by obturator hernia. Okay, this is most important, though this hernia is very rare, Obturator hernia may be involved together with the femoral nerve in retroperitoneal lesions that occurs close to the origins of the lumbar plexus. So this obturator hernia, that means the herniation of intestines, small intestines through obturator foramen, right, or obturator canal is called as obturator hernia. Though this is rare, if this happens, there will be entrapment of obturator nerve, okay, within the obturator canal. So they will develop obturator neuropathy. Compression of the nerve by herniated bowels at the obturator foramen can result in pain referred to the hip, medial thigh, and knee. Okay, this pain will be at the hip joint, medial thigh, and knee. The so-called Hauship-Romberg sign. Okay, Hauship-Romberg sign. A more distal entrapment syndrome causing chronic medial thigh pain has been described in athletes with large adductor muscles. Right. So this is the obturator hernia, obturator through obturator canal, herniation through obturator canal. This is very rare. You see, this is the obturator canal, and this one is hernia. The bowels are coming through the obturator canal, right? So you see, obturator hernial sac. This one is difficult to find because of the overlying pectineus muscle. See, this is the hernial sac, right? So what will happen is pain in medial thigh with extension, abduction, and medial rotation of the hip. So if we passively extend, abduct, and medially rotate the hip, there will be pain, okay, in the medial thigh, right? That is called as Hauship-Romberg sign, right? Is a obturator neuropathy due to compression of it by obturator hernia. Pain and paresthesia along the inner aspect of the thigh down to the knee. Referred pain through genicular branch of obturator. Inner thigh pain on internal rotation of the hip. Okay, extension, medial rotation, right? So these two people are involved in this. That is what is called as Hauship-Romberg sign. Okay, obturator neuropathy, especially in obturator hernia. Okay, you have to remember this. Coming to the accessory obturator now, occasionally present. Remember that the accessory obturator nerve is small, arises from the ventral branches of the third and fourth lumbar ventral, L3 and L4, whereas obturator nerve is L2 to L4, ventral rami. It descends along the medial border of the psoas major, crosses superior pubic ramus behind the pectineus, and divides into branches. One branch enters the deep surface of pectineus, another supplies the hip joint, and a third connects with the anterior branches of the obturator nerve. So it supplies pectineus, hip joint, and obturator nerve. Sometimes the accessory obturator nerve is very small and only supplies pectineus. Any branch may be absent and others may occur. An additional branch sometimes supplies adductor longus. That means a large accessory nerve. And remember this, motor branches are direct branch to obturator externus, adductor longus, brevis, gracilis, pectineus, and magnus. Sensory branches are cutaneous branches, right? So with that, that is regarding obturator now, right? So that one is obturator internus, that is the obturator now. Okay. So if you have any doubts, let me know. Any doubts?